Canary Street Press and HarperAudio present Always a Maverick by Delores Fossen. Performed by Will Damron. Chapter 1. Major Blue Donnelly forced open one eyelid, and he immediately closed it when the light came at him like a laser beam from hell. Man, it hurt. His head hurt, too. And his jaw. His shoulder, as well. When he realized the pain was pretty much everywhere, he quit naming off the parts of his body that were all throbbing like bad teeth. He didn't attempt opening his eye again. He'd learned his lesson about that. But instead tried to tamp down the swarm of buzzing locusts in his head so he could figure out what the heck was going on. Was he hungover? If so, then it was the worst hangover in the history of such ailments. But no, it wasn't that. He hadn't had a hangover since his 21st birthday. Lesson learned there, too. Maybe he was sick? It could be a bad case of the flu that caused fever and body aches. Was that it? Or maybe it was worse than that. Had he been shot down? Oh, crap. Was that it? He was an F-22 pilot, after all, and if the locusts in his head would just stop screeching and whirling around at tornado speed, he might be able to figure out if he'd been injured, then captured, and was now in enemy hands. "Major Donnelly?" he heard someone say. That was his name, all right. Even the locusts and the god-awful pain couldn't cause him to forget that. However, the pain could apparently work together with his yet-to-be-determined injuries to render him speechless. Blue tried to get his mouth working, but all he managed was a dry groan. Despite the pain that cut through him with any movement of every muscle, Blue tried to sit up, but someone placed a hand on his shoulder to stop him. That kicked in his fight-or-flight response, and as usual, he chose the fight. Or rather, that was what he would have attempted, had the world not gone dark on him. Blue slipped into what he thought was a dream. He hoped it was, anyway. Because there were pterodactyls coming at him while he was in the cockpit of a fighter jet. He had to dodge a whole bunch of gaping, squawking beaks that seemed hell-bent on munching him to death. His feet were dangling out of the fighter, and a jumping T-Rex was trying to chomp off his feet. "Major Donnelly?" someone said, jarring him out of the dream. It wasn't the same voice he'd heard before. This was a man, and he thought the other had been a woman. Again, Blue tried and failed to speak. He tried and failed to open his eyes, too. Since the pain was still there and seemingly even worse than before, he just groaned and listened, hoping whoever was saying his name would fill him in on what the heck was going on. That didn't happen. The dream snatched him back in, and this time it spun him into full Jurassic Park mode, complete with big trees, swamps, and "She's Blue," someone said. And this time it was a voice he recognized. His kid sister, Captain Remy Donnelly. "That bruise on your jaw looks like a pig's butt." "Remy," he tried to say. He managed it in his head, but he didn't hear any sound come out of his mouth. But his sister's comment gave him hope. Well, sort of. If Remy was making fun of his bruise, then that probably meant he wasn't a POW or dying. Probably. That meant he could rule out two things that had happened, so that left a quadrillion other possibilities for why he was... where? Judging from the scent, it was a hospital. There were also beeping sounds from monitors. But why was he here? Before he could try to locate any memories of that in the locust swarm of relentless pain, the darkness took him again. No Jurassic deal this time, though. He was in the cockpit of an F-22 Raptor, and every inch was familiar to him. The sensations of the familiar grounded him and settled him down. Settled some of the locusts enough so he could see he was airborne, tearing across the cloudless sky, and putting the Raptor through maneuvers that both he and the fighter jet could handle just fine. He had the best job ever. The kind of job that slammed him with adrenaline and made him proud.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?